Hey, and welcome to the weekly update from Fleet News Group. We do this every week where we share the top stories from our newsletter, and the news comes from our three websites. We've got Fleet Auto News, Fleet EV News, and Fleet HV News. So every Sunday night we send out a newsletter, and if you haven't seen it, you can sign up just by the link in the comments, or you can go to any one of our websites and you'll see a pop-up box, or down the bottom you'll see a sign-up form, and you can get involved in our fleet community. And then you can see the latest news every week with the Fleet News Group newsletter. So this week, it was our 500th newsletter. Really exciting, great milestone. For almost 10 years, every Sunday night, we've been sending out the newsletter to our fleet community. That means they start the week talking about the top stories from last week, either on a cup of coffee or during morning tea and lunch. Or if you're a supplier, hopefully you can take these stories and talk to your customers as well, because there's lots of exciting news every week. And we're really grateful that our fleet community has been reading and stayed engaged and kept with us for this long. And we've been growing the community every week, every month, and every year. So it's absolutely fantastic. So thank you for reading, and thank you for watching our 500th newsletter. So what's in the newsletter this week? Well, it's all about VFACTS. Well, not all about VFACTS, but most of the news last week was about VFACTS. It was all about new car sales in Australia. And it was a record year, over 1.2 million cars sold. So we broke a record, which was amazing, because throughout the year, the sales were just growing year on year. And what's more amazing is last year was a record as well, and it's broken that record. So post-COVID, it's been a significant amount of new cars hitting the roads in Australia, and a lot of that's that pent-up demand. But things were slowing in the last quarter of last year, and the comments by the FCAI certainly indicate that 2025 is going to be a tough year based on the way the sales or new orders were tracking in the last quarter of last year. But the good news is for Toyota, they smashed or broke their record. So 2008 was the last time they had a record year for sales. And in 2024, they broke that record. So amazing to think that it's taken, 12 years to actually break the record again. Everything that's been going on in Australia over the last decade with new car sales, and certainly with Toyota being the market leader for so many years, it's taken them 12 years to break a record they set back in 2008. And if you remember, 2008 was an interesting year. It was the year of the GFC, but that was later in the year. So I think Toyota had already sold a lot of cars and had a lot of orders in the bank by the time the GFC hit, and things took a bit of a tumble after that. But anyway, exciting year. So check out that story on Fleet Auto News, and you'll be able to see exactly how many vehicles Toyota sold. And you'll also find stories about the number of hybrids that Toyota has sold as well, because they've been leading the market and almost created the market for hybrids in Australia. And they've now sold over 500,000 hybrids across all the model ranges. And that's thanks to the top selling RAV4 that had a stellar year last year. It was actually the top selling vehicle, or by model, in 2024. The Ford Ranger pipped it. If you add the 4x4 and the 4x2 together, it became the top selling model overall. But as an individual model, the RAV4, and the majority were hybrids, was the top selling car, which is absolutely amazing to consider when you think about the Prius all those years ago that was so unloved as a hybrid vehicle, and no one quite understood what the benefits were. But it wasn't all about cars. New truck sales had a great year as well. They've had a couple of records the last couple of years. And the story we've featured in the newsletter this week is about Scania, who had a personal best in 2024. So they sold more trucks in 2024 than any other year. And if you're not familiar with the Scania brand, just have a look at a fire truck next time they come rushing up behind you or come flying past. Big Scania badge on the front of the fire truck. Scania have a number of trucks in their range. They operate in the heavy duty market. So you're talking about prime movers, you're talking about heavy ridges, and you're talking about things like fire trucks. So Scania have got a lot of exciting news in the low emission space and zero emission space coming out in the next few years. In Europe, they have a number of different options, including hydrogen, including electric, and including biodiesel and HVO type options. So Scania is certainly planning for that next phase of low emissions transportation or transport decarbonisation. So I'm expecting more great things from Scania in 2025 and in the years to come. One of the stories that I really love in the newsletter this week is about telematics and about driver safety. I spoke with Chris Martin from Geotab late last year, and we talked about a range of different topics that involve telematics, but driver safety is the one that I really think is a benefit to fleet managers. We also think we're good drivers, right? Well, maybe not as good as we think. And telematics can provide the data to actually share with us and share with you and your drivers how good you actually are. Because driving isn't just about getting behind the wheel and turning the key. Driving is about being aware of the road conditions. It's about predicting what's going to happen. It's about avoiding harsh braking and fast cornering, sudden movements and things like that. It's avoiding speeding, sticking to speed limits. I understand that they do vary in roads across Australia, and just because your speedo says 110, but the GPS is only at 105, doesn't mean you can travel at 115. So all these things telematics can help you manage and can help you work with your drivers. And it's certainly not as simple as sending them an alert saying, hey, you were speeding. You need to encompass it in a program of engagement with your fleet drivers so they're aware of the risks that are involved behind the wheel and how telematics can help them reduce that risk so they can go home safely at night. So check out that story on Fleet Auto News. On Fleet EV News, we have a fantastic case study with Essential Energy. Michael Mills is the fleet manager there, and they're doing great things. They've been trialing electric vehicles for a number of years, and Michael is really humble in his approach to electric vehicles, sharing and willing to share with anyone who wants to know more about some of the lessons they've learned. And when I say the lessons they've learned so far is the way to phrase it, because they're only just starting their journey. They've got lots of different assets and looking at lots of different types of applications. They've even just taken delivery of a prime mover late last year, an electric one that they'll use for delivering supplies to all their stores around northern New South Wales. So Michael shared all the things that he's learned in his role as fleet manager at Essential Energy, and the tips and the things that you can avoid as a fleet manager if you're planning your journey or transition to electric vehicles. So check out that story on Fleet EV News. It's a great one if you're looking for tips. Some other exciting news in electric vehicles is the Kia EV5. This is an amazing car. I haven't driven one yet myself, but some of the team members had, and they're really excited about it. But regardless of the driving dynamics, because it's a Kia, it's going to be good. Well, I certainly know it's going to be good, so I don't need to drive it to know it's a great car. But the great thing about it is it's a mid-size SUV, and that's what the fleet market wants. Just look at the competitors in the market and how successful they've been in fleets. So they've got a mid-size SUV that's electric. So if you're looking to transition to zero-emission vehicles or electric vehicles in your fleet, you're probably not going to need a mid-size SUV. So Kia have launched the EV5 last year. They've priced it really sharp for fleets. And when you add in the benefits of the FBT exemption on electric vehicles, it makes it really competitive against the popular hybrid models. But what's happened recently is ANCAP have given it the stamp of approval. The EV5 is now 5-star ANCAP rated, which opens the floodgates for all the government departments that have been holding back because it wasn't a 5-star vehicle. So this is a big achievement by Kia, and leads to sets them up for a really exciting year in 2025. But it's not just all about SUVs or cars in the electric vehicle space. There's new truck brands coming to the market. So in that light duty truck space, Photon Mobility Distribution have had the T5 electric light duty truck that's been in the market there, and you see them in some of the Coles and Woolworths delivery vehicles, the home shopping vehicles. Hyundai have got a light duty, a medium duty truck in the market, which is electric, and JAC have certainly got some trucks in the market as well, and they hit the roads late last year with ANC Delivers as part of the IKEA delivery fleet, delivering stuff for IKEA. With their commitment to have zero emission deliveries. But there's more new brands coming to the market in 2025. And on Fleet HV News, we've got one of the brands there that's indicated their intentions to come to Australia in 2025 with an electric truck. So check out those stories on Fleet HV News. Now, we've included one fun story in the newsletter this week, and that's the 2025 update of the i30N. Now, driving that car is just puts a smile on your dial. There's never been a time when I've been driving that car when I haven't got in and had my mood changed. Whether you're putting it in full N mode or whether you're just driving it in normal mode, just being able to press that button and switch, Jekyll and Hyde style from sort of full bore N mode back to normal commuting i30, traveling to the shops kind of nice and quiet. But they've had a 2025 update. So Rod's been able to review that car. So we've got a written review on Fleet Auto News. We've also got a video on YouTube, a full video. And judging by the comments and the number of views views of that video, there's still so much interest in that N brand. It's been out for a few years now, and the price has crept up a little bit. It's probably not in that low, it's definitely not in that low 40s, mid 40s value that it was when it was first launched. It was a cracker of a car when it first launched, and it's still a cracker of a car. Quality's improved, but pricing has increased as well. But it's a fantastic car. So check out the video on YouTube or read the review on Fleet Auto News. Okay, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. Don't forget to check out the stories that are published every day on our website. So Fleet Auto News, Fleet EV News, and Fleet HV News. Stories being published every day. If you're not a subscriber to the newsletter, you can do that in the comments below. We've got the link, and you can also go onto any of the websites. And if you don't get a pop-up box down the bottom, there's an option to subscribe to the weekly newsletter as well. So check it out, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching.